let's see what some of you want from me today. What can I do to get more people to my door? How do we get FaceTime with best employees and other companies? Look for some new tactics on how to find the right fit. I'd rather keep existing staff, but get them to perform effectively. Okay, that's awesome. We'll cover some of those goodies. And oh, we got Denise Swafford in the house, another master advisor. Say hey, Denise. All right, cool. So the master advisors will be in there chatting with you guys. And as I'm talking, they're going to reinforce some of the stuff I'm talking about. They're going to give you insights. I want this to be one of the most powerful trainings that you ever attended. All right, so let's see. Tips on creating a bench, keeping that bench engaged. All right, awesome. Love that. We'll share what we're doing for hiring right now. CEO Warrior is doubling in size once again. So we are hiring some of the best in the world. That's how we have Denise here. We have Larry. These guys have managed over $50+ million in HVAC companies. And I wasn't going to do this, but I'm going to probably have everybody do a quick little intro of themselves because it's nice to know who's on here from my team. Let's see, we got Mike in the house. Trades are impossible to hire at this time. Limited training for this available. Okay, brother, we're going to pull that out of our brain. We're going to forget about that because I thought the same way. And as I get into things here, I'm going to share, and can we just say I get all of you really quick? Like, I get all of you. Well, how do I get you? Like, you got to remember, go 11 years, a little over 11 years now. It was me and my partner and a couple people. And Mike, I said the same thing. There's no good people. They're hard to find. It's impossible. Life was really, really painful. Well, if you go 11 years later, I did what most companies dream about doing or think they cannot do. And we got to 200 employees, 165 trucks, and we did 32 million a year ago before I decided to exit and sell the company. And I sold it because they chased me for 2.5 years. And I was tired of them chasing me, and it was the right time for me to come and do this. Now, this is a little different of a background here than normal. This happens to be, if anybody's from New Jersey, this is a beach house that my wife and I are buying to spend time at this shore house. So we came down to see where they're at with things. And so I just want you to know how much I care about you. I'm supposed to be off today. It's Friday. And I'm actually at the beach house checking on things. But this is why I agreed to exit my $32 million company, was because I care so much about you that I want to make sure that you don't have to worry about working 7 days a week, 50 hours a day or whatever, till the point you're burnt out, fatigued, and it ends. So that's why I'm here today. Why don't we do a quick little intro here? Caroline, why don't you start us off? Why don't you tell everybody who you are, what you did for me at Gold Medal, and what you do today so everybody knows who you are and why you're interacting. Go ahead, rock and roll.
Okay, hi everybody. I am Caroline, and I am the operations manager for CEO Warrior. I used to work for Gold Medal. I was the executive assistant for the directors, and then exclusively the assistant for Mike and Rob. Now I handle pretty much all the day-to-day operations, our upcoming Service Business Edge event, and everything else in between. So welcome everybody. I'm looking forward to the training and meeting you all one day.
Awesome. So there is Caroline. Let's go to Denise next. Denise, unmute yourself and tell everybody a little bit about your background, who you are, what you did, how you know me. Go ahead.
Awesome. So I'm so excited to have everybody here today. My name is Denise Swafford. I'm one of the master advisors here at CEO Warrior. I got started in this industry by my father, who was an HVAC technician. My husband and I entered the business. We actually became owners in that business, built the business up, sold it in one of the first rounds of consolidation. I stayed on and worked my way up in that organization, became a regional sales manager for over $55 million worth of revenue, and loved doing that. Had the opportunity then to go to work for a mentor of mine, and I became a training director for a large national networking organization. I taught frontline communication skills to technicians, CSRs, owners, managers, you name it, we taught classes for that, for HVAC, plumbing, electrical, and roofing contractors. From there, I came to work for another I've worked in the same company, but became a vice president of franchise operations for Clockwork Home Services and oversaw about 270 franchises all across the country in plumbing, HVAC, and electrical. And then after that company sold, I decided to pursue a little bit different route. I went to work for another organization where I came across Mike. It was what a great thing that was for me. I was actually his business coach. So I coached him. I came out. I did an on-site with him, worked with him and his team, fell in love with what I saw at Gold Medal. And recently, back in October, I came across Mike again through social media, and I joined the team in January of this year as a master advisor. And I'm so blessed to be here and look forward to answering any questions you guys have today.
Boom. So I'm going to bring Larry on in a minute. But before I do, Denise, explain a little bit about, because, you know, a lot of guys in the industry have never heard of master advisor or what this is. Why don't you share a little bit about what you do at CEO Warrior so people know what that term is?
Yeah, so as a master advisor, what my job is to help all of our clients get what they're looking to get out of their businesses. So I do that through a variety of different ways. We work on group calls with people and help them implement action plans into their business. I coach on different tools and systems and processes and procedures that I know have worked in both my experiences and what has worked at Gold Medal as well. So I coach on those processes and procedures. We do that through group calls. We do that through one-on-one calls. So lots of different ways to get engaged with us at CEO Warrior.
Yeah, awesome. You know, if it's cool with everybody here, I would like to share some things real time before I get to Larry. But you know what? And this is going to make sense because some of you are asking about hiring. Some of you are asking about retaining. Denise, I sent a chat before. We use a platform, everybody, called Teamwork. And maybe Caroline could send a little link in there for Teamwork, what it is. It's a management tool to help do some things. You guys might be interested in it. But Denise, if you could open up Teamwork and look at the chat I sent to all and just read the first 5 words there when you get it and tell me what it says, because I think this plays a part for everybody on retaining and recruiting. Let me know if you get it there easy enough.
Okay, I'm opening it up now. I had some things closed down, so let me get back to it real quick.
Cool, no problem. Yeah, I closed mine out too, but Larry, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Cool, why don't you tell us a little bit about your background, Larry, who you are, what you do, so everybody knows why you're here.
Okay, like Denise said, she and I are husband and wife. We started this business a long time ago. I don't want to give the age of us, but it's been a while. So after starting in this business, we grew our first business and we sold it to a consolidator. After we sold it to a consolidator, I stayed on. Denise moved to a different position within the company. So my job was to grow and to protect the assets of that company. Well, what was cool about it is we started at I think it was around $4.5 million. We grew it to like $6 million in a short period of time. Am I getting feedback?
Yeah, you're good. I muted Denise just so there's no feedback from friends or anything.
All right, thank you. Well, after that, when Denise moved, of course, I followed her, and the company relocated me to a plumbing and drain cleaning company. You know, at that point, I was running somewhere around 62 drain cleaners, 10 masters and journeyman plumbers. We took that company and we grew it pretty quickly. We grew it about $4 million and to 20% net profit. After that, we came back down to Florida, and there I was like a retail manager where I ran 4 different states. And out of the 4 different states, we have 6 different companies. And the revenues there was over $60–70 million. And then we bought another company. We built that company up and we sold it. But each one of the times that I was within a company, I was able to grow that company and grow profits with it. So a lot of times people could grow a company, but the profits is not there. Or they go backwards in their revenues to grow their profits. I was able to do both. These are things that I love teaching other people how to do. The last company I was at was I was the vice president the company. We grew that company to a $30 million company. We had a little over 160 employees. We had 125 trucks. And what was nice about it is we had plumbing, electrical, HVAC, that we started, and we grew it to that, to the 30 million. So, you know, I've been in really small companies. I've been in large companies. But what I can tell you, it's all about the people.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you, team, for being here. Guys, what I wanted to, what Denise put in there before was my message was, thank you for the hard work today. And then I gave them some instructions on what I wanted to do because I'm down the shore here today managing some life things. But I made sure the first thing I said to myself, and the first thing about recruiting, I want to give you, let me just throw some things off the top of my mind about recruiting. And then I have a whole really, really cool, badass PowerPoint that we're gonna go through together, okay? And so first thing, and just so you guys know, disclaimer for all of you, no matter what I say, what I do, what I share, you have to do your own due diligence. Of course, we do not guarantee any results, but you have to check with everybody, your accountants, your attorneys, President Trump, and everybody in between. So there is, you have to make sure you do your own due diligence. We're going to share what worked for us and worked for us today, okay? But as I'm thinking about a couple of things about the hiring secret no one's talking about is, you know, one, you have to love what you do, okay? So if you don't love what you do, it's hard to attract other people who are going to love what they do. So write that down, please. And team, while I'm doing some things, do me a favor, chat in big insights that I share for everybody. So it makes it really easy as we go along here. So you got to love what you do. Number two, you got to love people. It's hard to hire really, really good people if you don't love people. What's up, Joe Cunningham? Nice to see you, brother. If you don't love people and you don't love what you do, how is that going to work for you? The other thing is, how is it going to work for you if you don't love people, you don't love what you do, and you think small-minded? And that's not going to be good to think small-minded, because what happens is if you think small-minded, then you're going to get small-minded results. I am a small company. I'm a small business. I was a small business too. The minute I stopped saying small and said things like progressive or growing or passionate or building an empire, the same thing as most of you are here for CEO Warrior, you know, I did not step in to this industry to serve at a little level. I sold my $32 million business. I don't say that to brag. You know, we set ourselves up, my wife, my family, my partner and his family, to be financially free for the next 10 generations. I did that on purpose with a mission. I knew what I was doing. It wasn't by hope to get there. So I want you to write down, let's not do things by hope. Let's do it by demand. There's a reason why CEO Warrior is a movement today, and we are changing more lives than anybody on the planet right now, is because we stepped in, and I said to myself, I am tired of watching friends of mine, contractors, people working their ass off every day, and they're bleeding and sweating and missing family time, and they're not growing. So let's dig into some things here about, here's some of our badass team, my business partner in the blue on the right, Mike Disney, who I think might be handling some coaching calls today, and of course, Larry and Denise there. That's not our whole team. We got a full-time videographer and graphic designers and everything else in between at CEO Warrior. Now, remember, I'm here to serve you today. I am not here to sell you anything. I am not pitching you anything. If anything, I am going to give you a lot of ways to think about things today. So I want you to know, and if any of you have been on anything that I do, you know I want you to walk away with tangible things. Now, here's how we make it interactive. And in the future, I'm actually going to do these webinars and invite you in to hang out with me too. And we're going to do it virtual at the same time. I say that because it's going to be really, really cool. But as you're hearing things and it sticks in your mind, it's maybe a new idea, an insight, or maybe, uh-oh, what happened there? Or maybe it's not even a new idea or insight, but maybe it's something that you just heard finally for the last time, and you're going to change the way you think about it. I want you to type it in there so we can interact back and forth. Of course, I don't know how many are on here, maybe 50, 75, 100. It really wouldn't matter to me if just one of you showed up. I always love that theory. If you ever get a chance, and team, type it in, the starfish story. Make sure you go read the starfish story. I'll give you my quick variation of it, just because I think it's impactful to think this way, and it's impactful just as a concept. You know, this little girl's on the beach, and there's millions of starfish been washed up on the beach, and the little girl throwing one starfish at a time into the water. And this old timer walks up and says, "Little girl, what are you doing?" She goes, "Oh, I'm saving starfish." And she keeps throwing them into the ocean. And he ponders for a minute, and he says, "I don't know, should I tell this little girl this, or should I not tell her this? Like, I don't want to crush her dreams." But then the old timer says, "Well, you know what? It's my responsibility. Let me tell her." He goes, "Little girl, you can't save them all." And she says, "Oh, I know, but I just saved that one." And that's a really powerful story to think about. That's one of the things that we believe in. Like, don't know if I can save the world, but I'm going to save as many starfish as I can from struggling. Okay? So I want to let you know I'm here to serve you. And we're going to talk here about the hiring secret, if not secrets, that no one is talking about today. And the thing is, the hardest part, right? So as I was thinking about putting this together for all of you, a lot of people, what they say and what's happening are two different things. The hardest part is people are saying finding the right people. And then it's knowing how to get them to work for your company. Because, I mean, we all know where there's a lot of people, but now we have to get them to work for us. And then where do we even look? Now, I thought this was interesting the other day. We did a hiring, and we filled a room with 25 or 30 people, whatever it was. I don't know. I didn't count the exact amount. And I was like, okay, well, that was really easy to get people in the room. And we narrowed it down to 6. We're looking for a graphic designer, which, by the way, just one thing to write down is recruiting. Watch this. I'm going to make my point by asking a question you're going to respond to. When should you be recruiting? Go ahead. Tell it to me. When should you be recruiting? Okay, always. So let me lead by example. So we are looking for a full-time graphic designer. We already have one that's full-time on staff, and we're looking for a full-time social media person. We have a remote social media team. And so I'll ask you guys, because since you always say that you're always recruiting, well, I'm going to help me in recruiting. If you know anybody who's a social media expert, or you know anybody that's a graphic design expert, do me a favor. Send them my way. You see, that's a great example of always recruiting. But to recruit, we have to understand that we understand the struggles of it that you're having. And I want to solve a bunch of those today. Now, as most of you know, but I learned not to make any assumptions, is I already told you we grew a company from under $1 million to over $32 million, double-digit profit. A lot of companies build really big companies. Very few build really big companies and have double-digit profit. We had double-digit profit, right? I also a martial artist at 34 years. I'm a tattoo artist, and I love art in general. And I'm one of the founders here of CEO Warrior, and probably one of the things I'm most proud of. Well, let's see. You type in, for some of you that know me, what am I most proud of? Let's see who gets this. What do you think I'm most proud of? Well, that's good that you guys are writing that, because that means you know me. I'm most proud of that my beautiful wife is somewhere here, of over 30 years. The beard. No, I'm not so proud of that. It's getting gray, and yeah, I'm not proud of that. But I am proud of being with my wife over 30 years, my goddess, and I'm extremely proud of my children, and I'm proud of my whole family. So if you ask me what I'm most proud about, this is what I fight for, and I bet it's some of the things that that you're fighting for too, right? Like, why are we on here today? There's a lot of things you could do, I could be doing. We're on here today because we're fighting the fight for our family. Now look, how come you're on here also? Because I can relate to you. This is my business partner. This is probably, I don't even know, it's gotta be 15, 17 years ago. This is one of my favorite pictures of all time, is this picture right here. And the reason why it's my best picture is because Rob Zadati, my business partner, we've been in business together over 24 years. We own commercial buildings together. We own CEO Warrior together. But I remember this grind. And if you can remember the grind, or you're in the grind, tell me what the grind is like. Type it in there right now. As you can see, this looks like this was not the most beautiful day in the world. That's not the most beautiful truck in the world. As you can see, our feet are dirty and muddy. So this was probably a Wendy's or a TGI Fridays project. Even though the last, 12, 13 years, we did plumbing, heating, cooling, electric, drain cleaning, one-day bathroom solutions. We did basement waterproofing. I've done kitchen remodeling and bathroom remodeling. I've done restoration, all within the company. But we were an expert. At commercial and industrial. We did Wendy's, TGI Fridays, big and tall, sleepy stores. So that's why a lot of people are not only intrigued, they're very attracted to us, because they know I'm not just a residential guy. Like, I've helped everything from chiropractic companies, painting companies, construction companies, and maybe team, you could just type out there all the different industries that we work with today helping. So I get the grind, guys. That was the grind. And I also get the big problem, right? You want not just a beating heart. And I got to tell you, who's ever done that? You just hired a pulse. How long does that last anyway when you just hire a beating heart? Like, it doesn't last long. And what about, have you ever done this, or it's just me? And I hope it's okay with you. I'm going to be as transparent as possible. I know a lot of people have to sugarcoat and fake things. I'm here to serve, not sell anything. But, I've hired warm bodies. Do you guys know that phrase, hiring a warm body? Like, I've done that before. And yeah, that just doesn't work really, really well, right? And it felt like we also never had enough people. And that was just a really, really big problem for us. The discovery that I have as I think back on this, on all the different things that we discovered, is over time we stumbled on the right things. We found mentors who had it dialed in and we didn't have it dialed in. And we accidentally even figured out some things. Like, if you trip enough, eventually you trip into something good. It's not all roots that you're falling on top of. And once we started figuring out what to do, how to do it, that's a result. Now, that's really not an impressive picture. And I'm being humble and honest here. This is a picture that goes back 5 or 6 years ago. That's less than 50% of the size we grew. That was less than 50% of the trucks, because we couldn't even fit all the damn trucks in our parking lot on the building that I still own with Rob in East Brunswick, New Jersey. But I think it's impressive enough to make a point that we started to figure out how to get it done. Now, as I see things, I'm going to share things with you that I think are paramount, even though it's not in the agenda. I'm just one of those guys that when something comes to my mind, I think there's value for you. So I want to attract really, really good people. And I wonder if I want to attract really, really good people, but I'm dressed like a slob. what kind of people do you think you'll attract if you dress like a slob and you want to attract really, really good craftsmen? Like, you're probably going to attract maybe a sloppy craftsman. And as you can see, there's some people that are business casual. There's guys that are in our jackets. There's guys that are in our white button-down shirts. But there's one thing for sure I hope you could tell from this picture is that's not how we dressed that day. That's how we dressed every day. That's not how we dressed that day. That's how we dressed every day. And I think that's important because if you want to make a professional image, then you better portray a professional image, which that's what a customer wants coming to a house. I want, like Caroline said, like, I want world-class coming to my house. I want world-class delivery going on. And so tell me so far, let's take a quick little 1 minute. I'm going to take a sip of water. Tell me what you're hearing and tell me something you're like, I heard it, I'm going to do it. I heard it, I need to think about it. I heard it, I'm confused. I'm okay with all answers, okay? Okay, let me take a sip here and then we're going to get going further into the training here. Now, I already shared with you guys my reason, okay? My reason for sharing this with you guys is after being in, I was in an organization for over 10 years. And I think that organization had a lot of great things. The thing that happened, though, is I outgrew almost everyone in the organization, and I outgrew all the founding fathers. And even though there was a small group of prodigies, what was happening is I was really happy and upset. I was happy when I was in my company, and I was upset when I was on a road trip or one of their events going to, because like I was winning and they were losing. And as I told you before, my reason for sharing is I don't want anybody to lose. There's a lot of stuff today that make sure you mute yourself out, everybody. There's a lot of stuff today where people are using things that are just downright. Hang on 1 second. Caroline, grab that. I don't care about hearing them. I don't want them to say something they may not. I think I hit it. It was Boris. I don't want you to hear something that maybe you shouldn't hear, right? Like him in the bathroom or something. Like that would just be weird and distract all of us. Definitely me too. So the point is, I wanted to make sure this is one of our 4-day events. If you've ever attended our 4-day event, do me a favor, chat in there. What's the 4-day event like? And this is where we come in. And what I learned was to get business owners that if I could serve you unlike anybody, thank you, Fabio, Warrior Brother. If I could get to serve people unlike they've ever been served before and shift their minds like they've never been shifted before, well, I can get you to think. Tell me if this is true or not true. You could say, boom, that's true, or just say not true. Can I teach you how to do something and let you do it with your same old mindset? Can I do that? Can you create new results with the same level of thinking you have now? The answer is no. What got you to where you're at will not get you to where you want to go. Isn't that true? What got you to where you're at will not get you to where you want to go. So my job today is, even if I could just get you to think about difference and get that framing. Now here I said what's been useful so far, because I need to keep getting check-ins from you guys as we keep going, okay? Now let's dig into some content. Let's talk about the first strategy. How do we choose the right people, right? I mean, that's really the first thing, is we have to choose them. And as you're thinking about the right people, let's talk about the avatar. Now, some of you that have been following me, you know I'm a big believer in avatar. Avatar meaning the right person to do the right job, that not just does the job, they're a fit for me. We just had 25, 30 people in a room. And as we did the recap with my team, talking about each person, the first thing we wanted to know is, are they a cultural fit? Are they are they a fit for the team? Are they a fit for me? Because if you're not a fit for me, and some of you, I don't expect you to be like me. I'm just going to share. I'm a very demanding person. I move with a sense of urgency. I hope you get that. And I expect us to deliver world class. And if we don't hit world class, I'm very upset. I'm very frustrated. My team, they're probably like, yes, they get my wife's over here going, yes, he gets very cranked up and frustrated. And so you have to know first, who is it that I want? Second, do they fit me, right? And here's the number one exercise. And I will be surprised if less than 1% of you have done this. Now, if you haven't heard the strategy before, I understand that you didn't do it. But if you heard me say it and didn't do it, then I'm mad at you. You got to pick it up. Here's the deal. When you talk about avatar, you can't think it in your mind. You must write it on paper. I'm a manifestation person. If any of you are manifestation or mind creation people, you believe what you create, it happens. The same way I believe my wife and I, we thought about the Shore house. I had a feeling it was going to happen this year. We looked, and then before you know it, the house we got was not even one that the realtors were showing us. It was one that we were driving around, and all of a sudden it was there. Now, when you take a piece of paper and you start writing down, and let me run through a couple things here. By identifying the avatar, you need to make sure a couple things. One, you need to make sure who they are, how they think, how many kids they have, what are their hobbies, what do they like to do, what don't they like to do, how old are they married, are they single? You have to write it. If all of you will promise me, if anything, if you want to pay me back for delivering value to you today, I would say deliver me a payback by this. Take pen and paper this weekend, take your phone, and identify exactly who you're looking for. Most people are like, oh, I'm looking for a plumber. I'm looking for a window guy that knows how to do windows. Like, no, you're not. You're looking for a cultural fit. You're looking for someone who thinks like you, that fits like you, that moves like you, that wants to be part of a movement. Write this down. This is a mandatory. I don't care if you're driving, chew it into the side of your arm, everybody. People want to be with a movement. They want to be with a company that's building an empire. They don't want to be with a company that's like, oh, we're a small, little, close-knit. Close, small means no room for growth. I mean, you're on here, a lot of you, because would you still want to be working at your first company doing what you used to do today in your life? Answer that for me. Yes or no? Would you still want to be doing what you did when you were 20 years old? Now, some of you might be, yeah, I was just chilling on the beach doing nothing. Mom and dad were paying. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like, no, you wouldn't want that. You wanted opportunities to grow, and you wanted opportunities to expand. Mm-hmm. And it's the same thing that people want today. And that's why I write, once you identify the avatar, which you all please do it, I want you then, what's important is you must craft your message. Now, I am going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you a lot of things if it's okay. But Caroline, I'm going to tell them this for sure. Most of you have your recruiting stuff on Facebook. It's horrible. It's horrible. It's like, we're growing and hiring. We got 401k. Come work for me. And I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm like, this is really, really horrible. You're not even talking to the right person. You didn't even say, are you a plumber? And you're in your 40s and you want to have your final career and you want to have time with your family and you're looking for a place that appreciates you and respects you and is going to fight with you and going to fight for your livelihood so the company grows and you have positions. Like, I don't see any of that today. And I'm watching some of the biggest companies in the world and smallest guys that need people, and they're not even talking to the person. They're taking a static image and they're like, here, I hope people see this and go, that's the company I want to work for. I mean, there's a reason why people want to work for CEO Warrior. We're creating a global movement We work with clients in Australia, Canada, all over the United States. There's a reason why, Caroline, type in, did you start at CEO Warrior or start at a different company before you came to CEO Warrior? Where did you work? And Mike Disney is not on here, but these guys, what's that? Yeah, go ahead. So Mike Disney started over with us too. So Caroline, a finance background, she worked for Gold Medal, and then she came to CEO Warrior. Why would people want to keep coming with me? Because they know I created a movement at Gold Medal, and movements start at the beginning of when you yourself makes a decision and one person believes you. My partner, Rob, always says, he says, I'm your first follower, right? And sometimes I'm breaking shit, and he's following me in there, and he follows me to clean up the mess I make, which is good to have a partner that can clean up your mess. But we get that creating a movement is a bunch of followers that want to go on the journey to grow and expand. You have to understand this part, everybody, because if you don't understand the part, right? If you don't understand the part and you don't think different and you don't adjust your mindset, this is an exercise we do. Don't let it scare you. Everybody's safe. My daughter did this when she was 11 or 12, but we break an arrow. Aaron, brother, is in the house. Aaron is my copywriter, and he's off the hook, and I'm glad he's here. I'm honored he's actually here. But keep writing the stuff that you're working on for me. All right, so look, this is an arrow that we stick in the soft part of our throat, and we're gonna push until it breaks. For most of you, it's insane. It's as insane as hiring today. But I wonder for you, if we, here's what a mentor told me, so I wanna share it with you, okay? A mentor told me, and I said, there's no good people. Now watch how I programmed my mind, everybody. I was like, there's no good people, hard to find. The industry is shrinking. There's nobody wants to be a tradesperson, blah, 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 blah. What would make any of you think your brain goes, hang on a minute, I got an idea that's gonna change your life? Your brain doesn't work that way, everybody. Your brain is something that when you keep telling it the same thing, that becomes your truth and your reality. I need you to get this. One of the biggest things that's happening, and we got a lot of experts that follow me that are on here, a lot of experts in the world. I always say this: the way you've done the shit you've done for people, you can't do it the same way. People think different, act different, move different. Your customers think, act, move different. Your employees think, act, move different. Everything has changed, guys, but if you don't get this right, if you don't make a decision to step up, change your mind and do something that's so different, you'll keep getting the same result. I always think about my dad when I talk about this here. Now, I love my dad. He's dealt with a lot of heart problems in the last couple of years. If any of you have elderly parents or been through that, the heart problem, the leg problem, the knee problem, type in there if you could relate to me a little bit on this. And I sit here and I think about my dad, and I'm like, the thing about my dad is, he's never evolved to change the way he was thinking. He still thinks the same way he did 20 years ago. And as much as you could say, well, I am what I am, and that's all that I am, I think that doesn't serve you. So yeah, all of you guys that are here, you could relate to this, and you say to yourself, you don't want to get frustrated with your parents because they're older and they don't get it. But in a way, you're like, right? Right, Matt? You're just like, I'm sorry about that, brother. Energy, everybody, do me a favor. Energy in the stream right now. Put in energy for Matt's mom who had a stroke on Sunday. I hate hearing this type of stuff. But I also know that a lot of this stuff happens because we don't change the way we think. Now, look. We have proven this. This is not a philosophy. I've proved it at Gold Medal. This is Mandy and Ian Hagen. She was the Warrior of the Year, and their company has grown double, if not going on triple its size in a short period of time. And she is one of the people that I said, this is how you do recruiting. And boom, all of a sudden, she applies it, and we move forward. So here's what I want to know for you guys is what about you? What do you need to do right now to make hiring easier? I mean, give me so far, what did you hear? And give me your 3 action steps. Go ahead. Give me your 3 action steps that you need to take right now to start recruiting different before I go into more strategies here, okay? Let me take a drink of water. You take a drink of water too, everybody. Yeah, awesome. Build the avatar. Okay. Now here's the deal, right? You could keep doing things the old way or the new way. And when you think about the old way or the new way, this makes me question, that all of you probably should be saying, I need to shift my mindset, right? I need to shift my mindset. Now let's start to go into the next strategy. Is that okay if we do next strategy? We have a short period of time together. I want to be respectful of your time, but I also don't want to short things so that you don't get the impact and the information that you deserve, okay? So let's go into the next one. You got to capture their attention. What makes you so different than everybody else? The hiring ads are weak today. They're not talking about things. Some people are still doing it the same way, like we were saying, and this does not work. So what I want you to start doing is I want you to start saying things that attract attention in your ad, but I also want to give you some things I don't do. It might work for you, okay? Yeah, we'll talk about those. I'm going to open up in a little bit for questions, so save that one, Roy. But here's something. I never went out with hiring bonuses, guys. I never believed in begging for people to come work for me. Matter of fact, my director of CEO Warrior, we had a really good salesperson. I would say he's a hot shot in sales that was going to come and work over at CEO Warrior. And we were ready to hire him. And then he came back and he's like, he wanted more money, this and that. And my director says, hey, it's not a fit. I'm sorry that you thought that way. I'm going to give you my words. He goes, people fight to work here. We don't fight to get you here. I want you to think about that. People fight to come and work at CEO Warrior. We're a movement. We're unstoppable. We don't fight for you to work here. You come because it is an opportunity of the lifetime, same as Gold Medal. Gold Medal over there is an employee. I think he's going on 15 years, Joe Dodaro. He started with me as a plumber in a truck. He now runs over a $32 million. They'll probably do $40 million this year. And he runs other companies in New Jersey for this huge company that acquired us, Sun, huge private equity, $40 billion company. So your question is here is when you go out there, and you speak to the avatar in the message, you need to stand out. Now, here's what I'm wondering, and I want to give you a tip here. I'm wondering, why are you as the owner not in all your recruiting ads? Why not? Why are you not saying, I will fight for you? We're growing, and I want you to not die in an attic someday. Why are you not telling people your mission? Now, look, don't take my mission, everybody. I'm sharing mine so you can meditate, ponder, pray, whatever it takes for you to get your own mission. But why are some of you not out there saying, I don't want tradespeople to die in an attic. I don't want to find out that another plumber, electrician, HVAC person died in their 50s because where they can't walk their knees. So for me, it's a very passionate thing because I know the result. I mean, I took guys that worked for me and I made them the promise. I mean, I had one guy that worked and he was a great plumber. I mean, man, he started in the warehouse. And when I say great, you got to understand. First off, great to me was this guy was pushing up against 700, 800,000 a year in plumbing. All right. As you guys may know or may not know, I served in the last 5 years of the company over 125,000 customers. Now, we were A+ rated BBB, I'm not going to tell you my Yelp reviews were amazing. I'm not a big believer in the Gestapo of what they do out there. But I'm going to tell you we were really, really good with a world-class reputation, and everybody loved us out there. And that's how we grew so fast. But when you talk about standing out here to people, I need you to be the one telling people, come and work for me, but not come work for me, come join the team. I want to show you a path that I'm going to get you. Now, I have a proven track record. Mike Disney, who came to work for me, he started as a guy to run our Costco program, our Lowe's program, and I told him, come in. And he came in. He was a business owner who sold the business. I won't even say it publicly what I was paying him. It was pathetic what I was paying him. But I needed him to know that if you're coming over, you're taking a chance, and you're burning the boat, brother. And you're going to trust me. And if you trust me, I'll change your life. And I think it was in 4 months, he was sales manager. Less than a year and a half, he was director of gold medal, one of our 3 directors of a $32 million. Because here's the thing, everybody. You have to honor your promise. Write it down. You have to honor your promise of what you're going to tell people. If you tell them Denise is on here, Caroline's on here, Larry's on here, I don't know who else on my team might be on here. They know I am fighting for them every day. I'm fighting to grow a movement so that their life grows. We serve more people. We are not confused at all where we are going. Ted Puzio is another great example. This is a guy where an organization he was in was telling him, don't change your name. Don't change your brand. Don't do this. Don't do that. And I said, Ted, listen, I'm not going to get in a fist fight with you, brother. You either got to listen to that master or you got to trust this master. But you can't be one under 2 masters. If you trust me, I will lead your company like it's my own. And of course I did. He rebranded, changes things, adjusts things. His business has grown. He's in a brand new building. He's at a place he never even thought was fathomable to get to. Why? Because I'm telling you, now the reason I tell you this is not to clap for myself, everybody. It's to tell you what I'm teaching you is proven. What I'm teaching is proven. So what about you now? Do you believe that let's go here. We'll go back to there in a minute. Do you believe that you need to change some of your tactics and strategies? Type that in. Do you believe you need to change some of your tactics and strategies? Then what I'm going to do, thank you, Fabio, I want to give you some places that we can do this. So what we're going to talk about now to take us to a little bit of the finish line is we're going to talk about as many things as I can think about of where you should be marketing and get people and different resources that you can use, okay? Different resources you can use to find the best people, all right? And then we'll talk a little bit about why, and then we'll talk about some things. So let's talk about where to find some great people. First off, here's my question. How many, Mike, of your people, Jeff, employees are referring you or referring people to your company? How many? I thought it was awesome the other day. We had a very talented girl, Michelle, that we are going to be interviewing for a second interview. And she came to our hiring experience we put on, which I will tell you most people do wrong. The process we run through, I created it myself. It's not a job fair. It is a very strategic approach on interviewing in a whole new way that most people never even could fathom or thought of. But this girl came, and I when I go and I talk to certain people, she goes, oh, I'm here because my uncle, I think it was uncle, Caroline will confirm that for me, uncle came to your 4-day event. And we were talking, and he said, if you're looking for a job, you need to go there. So one, and he's not an employee of ours, he's a company that we coach. And if you think about that is, if your employees, every one of your employees knows a plumber, they know somebody, don't they? So if your employees, existing employees, aren't telling people about you, what does that mean? Why don't you type in, tell me what that means if your existing employees are not telling people about you. I'll give you a couple things I think it means. The first thing I think it means is they're worried about competition. Why? Because you're not growing. So why am I going to bring somebody else over here if you're not growing? Well, that doesn't make sense to me. And what if I bring them and they're bad and you hold it against me? Or I don't really know how long I'll be here. My rule of thumb was if people weren't, and I'm sure Denise and Larry and everybody has experienced this before, like if people are not referring you, I wonder how loyal they are to the movement. Is that a possibility? What do you guys think? You can nod your head or type in there. And all of you that are interacting, thank you. This is how this makes the training as impactful as we can. Why I'm down in Seaside at the Jersey Shore, right? So the next thing is, and for those of you that are veterans, give me a little note in there again, please. We hire veterans. Now look, all of you probably hire veterans, okay? All of you probably hire veterans. But the fact is, I ask for veterans because I don't have to teach them how to show up on time. Veterans' wife counts. Larry's a veteran, so thank you for your service. And why do we hire veterans? I don't have to discipline them. I don't have to tell them how to function. I don't have to tell them how to be respectful. I don't have to tell them how to be disciplined. So we talk, and this is a great avenue for all of you. We go to all the VFWs and we tell them when guys come out of the service, look, if a guy can fix a tank, thank you, Justin. If a guy could fix a tank, a jet fighter, like, or just could carry a battle pack on his back, 40 miles in the heat, like, can I teach him how to solder a damn pipe or install a thermostat? Like, come on. So, and what I found out, now I was never in the service, but I consider myself a combat guy. I train in combat. I trained with SEALs. I've trained SEALs and Rangers and combat and martial arts and all kinds of stuff throughout my time. But the one thing I know for sure is they want to know the next mission to go on. Thank you, Henry. Thank you for all you veterans. They just want the next mission. I'm a mission guy. Movement, veteran, mission together. Let's fight together. And now they have a life that is unlike any life they had. It's as close to the military as possible for them, not because we're making them line up and do cadences and all that, but they're doing it because they're like, I love this journey. I love this way to go about it. So I would say it's a big untapped area. This is a layout for one of our warriors. This happens to be Mandy, Warrior of the Year. This was her layout where she did a hiring event. And like I said, there's a whole agenda for it. I can't go through the whole agenda for time, and it is Friday for you guys. But this is where we bring in and we can get a feel for each other. I want people to interview me. I don't want to just interview them. Write this down. Interviewing and hiring is a two-way street, not a one-way street. It's a two-way street. Just like Darren Gilmore, he's figured it out with hiring too. I mean, $20-something million service company. Like these guys, sometimes I look around and it's funny. It's funny here when you think about this, guys, is I'm wondering about you is if you're in an area where there's $5-10 million companies, do you have a shortage of people or a shortage of marketing strategies? Write this down, please. Write this down. Recruiting is a marketing function. Write it down. I'm not joking. Grab your pen. Don't make me get all cranked up on you here. Get your pen and write down. Recruiting is a marketing function. And when I ask most people, Denise, rate yourself from 1 to 10, 10 the best, 1 the worst. Well, why don't you all rate yourself 10 the best, 1 the worst? How do you rate yourself as a marketer? As a marketer, I am a world-class marketer, okay? Which means I can go into any business, show them how to market things and grow faster than anything on the planet because I'm a marketer. I get the concept of marketing versus advertising. I I understand emotion. I understand positioning of images. And all of you need to make sure you're world-class marketers or you will not get world-class results. Now check this out, right? I thought this was a great picture here. There's the old way or the new way of hiring, right? And the old way will keep you in a lot of pain, all right? The new way is going to help you find ways to grow your business and get the right people. Now, I'm giving you some of the fundamentals here, and I think some of you might have your numbers a little wrong. 10 is the best. That means your business grows by, if you're a marketer, your business grows by double, if not triple, every single year. I mean, at Gold Medal, we did a $3.5 million month. We did a $6 million year in 1 year, okay? Question for you is, let's do a little recap of some things. One, people want to tell you, and all vehicles will do something, guys. All vehicles will do something. You could do Indeed, you do Facebook, you do LinkedIn. I'm a big Facebook believer because everybody, like almost everybody's on it and it's interactive. I'm a big LinkedIn believer. A lot of business people are on LinkedIn. I'm a big believer, search as many free recruiting sites you can. Now, here's the thing about Facebook. Someone told me the other day, congratulations, Erickson. And here's the thing. People tell me, I'm putting ads on Facebook. I said, you're putting ads on Facebook. How many? Well, I did one yesterday. I'm like, if you guys were to look at me as a marketer on Facebook alone, how much would you say you see me on Facebook? Type in any word. I don't care what word it is, how crazy the word is. Would you say this word is how much Mike posts on Facebook? Everywhere, all the time. Too much. Nate, just kick me off, brother. Kick me off. I want to be in there when you're sleeping. So my question is, when people say this, people say to me, they say, Mike, you send too many messages to me. And I always say this, how's your business doing? Oh, I got to grow. I say, send more, do more posting, do more messaging, do more Facebook. Like, you're right. Some people could say, yes, it's too much. For me, it's perfect because you're constantly moving down in the stream. Now, some of these vehicles out there today, magazines, let me talk to you about something. And you can do this, guys. You definitely can do this. I want to talk to you about when you look at these functions of recruiting, marketing, recruiting, okay? You have to be everywhere all the time. Now, someone asked, what about recruiting companies? And I say to myself about recruiting companies, I'm like, you know what? They could be really good. I have not had a lot of success with it. I have not had a lot of success with it, with those companies, because normally they're just fishing in the same places that they used to before. I want you to think of this. You have a choice. You have to identify the avatar. You have to give a message out there. You have to be more creative than everyone else. You have to have a movement, and you have to be in that business and love the business. I posted some pictures in our Warrior community the other day. If any of you, now there's a couple communities. I have CEO Warrior World. All of you can join that. And then I have the Warrior community, which are the business warriors. These are people that are in our high-level coaching and training program. And I posted there the other day of me in my uniform, in my white shirt with the badge, and I said, look, I loved that uniform. Denise probably remembers reading the post, and Larry, I loved that uniform. I was proud of wearing that uniform. I wore that uniform like I would imagine a military guy wore his uniform. I loved my service company. Loved it. Loved even the times when they blew up trucks, flipped over trucks on the turnpike, Army trucks hit it. I got mad like everybody else and upset, but I lived it, breathed it. Just like you see this. I don't have that no more. So I live, eat, and breathe CEO Warrior. If you're not wearing a branded shirt of yours right now, minus you might be going out, then I wonder if you really, really love your business. Now, for sense of time, and I'm going to have Caroline, give me a little bit of a check-in there because I got so much stuff going on here. I want to let you know, guys, we're here to help you. Now, I told you I'm not pitching you at anything. This is completely free for you guys, all right? And I told you we won't sell you anything, and I'm not gonna. What I'd like you to do is I have something for you. If you would like to, okay, if you would like to have a strategy call, but please only get on if you want to move mountains. If you're a whiner, complainer, you don't want to fix anything, you don't want to work hard, well, don't do this, because I'm doing something I never did before, and there's a couple hundred people on here, 100 and some, which means there's going to be a quick demand. So I have to frame this. If you want to get on with one of my master advisors for a free strategy call to find out exactly where you're stuck, I'd like to extend that opportunity to you, okay? And you could get on 15 minutes with them. Here's where I'm at. This is where I want to go. This is where I'm stuck. And we're going to help guide you with some resources, with some options, with some things to help you out, okay? I want to help you out, and I've never done this in the past before, okay? So let me, Caroline will type that in for you and stuff. And let me just review some of the logistics on that. Plus, I couldn't see all of you when I was like that, but now I see you, Keith, Fabio, I could Tammy, what's going on? I can see all you guys now. If you want to take advantage of the 15-minute strategy session, okay? And what's up? Darlene's in the house, and I got Brian. I said, oh, you, Tim, what's going on? I love being able to see a whole bunch of you guys here. Henry, if you want to get the strategy session, okay? Oh, there you go. You got Bird Dog, which is a huge resource we use. Who else uses Bird Dog? Anyone else? Bird Dog is a great resource out there, along with Hierology is a great resource. I love both of those guys. I've used and used them on different things today. So what I want to know is this. Before we go, if there's a question I didn't answer for you, do me a favor, type it in really quick. Type it in. And I want to bang out some additional questions for you. And then the second thing I want to do is remind you that if you want to take advantage of the free strategy session with one of our master advisors, Caroline or Denise is going to post that link in there for you so that you can make it real easy and go to the link. And she'll post it a couple times, Caroline. Also, Caroline, put your number in there in case someone's not super tech savvy or something. Thank you. Aaron threw the link in there too. And Caroline, put your information and all contact stuff. Put a phone number in there because some of you may not be techie, and I want to make sure that you are served and we solve the game. Guys, let's do a quick little recap. Type in any last questions for me, and then I'm gonna let you go about finish off your day strong and get ready to crank into your weekend building your empire. So, quick recap. You got to build. Well, why don't you guys answer for me? What's the first thing you have to do that I taught you? What is one of the very first things you have to do? Put it in right now. Put it in right now. This is your quiz, everybody. Okay, avatar. Yes, you gotta write out your avatar. Yes, you have to change your mindset. Give me another thing. Come on. What's another thing you have to do? We covered a whole bunch of strategies. Change your mindset, build the avatar, always be recruiting and demonstrate that. Here's the test for recruiting. Let's see how many of you passed. First off, how many of you get coffee during the day at Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts? Now, we're not gonna have a debate on coffee. Do you hear me right now? Okay, Vicky, we're not debating coffee. My dad's like, Dunkin', it's not a, he's like, it can't be someone mute yourself out. Starbucks. You know, he's old school. He's old school. So he is like, it has to be. We got a little reverb kicking on for some reason. Super. Okay, let's see if maybe that fixed it. Okay.
Okay.
No, it did not.
So
Team,
it did
look
not.
for anybody
Team,
not
look for anybody not
it's a duplicate name because of
get name because security came up on that.
So,
So
next thing.
next,
Okay.
okay,
Fix it.
fix it.
So weird. Let me mute
So
myself
weird. Let me
out.
mute myself out. Solve the problem.
Okay. Can you guys hear me? All right. Looks like we got that dialed in. Whatever. That happens with my energy is just like that. And or when you talk about coffee, Starbucks distorts the waves. They might just be doing something like that. But so if you are a person who goes to Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts or McDonald's, I'm not here to judge coffee. And yes, coffee sabotage, 100%. Tell me if you do that. Here's how I can tell if you're recruiting, okay? And I'm going to give you this last piece before we go. If you told the person at Starbucks, Dunkin', wherever you got coffee, and you said to them when you pulled up to get it, and you said, hey, nice to meet you, I'm so-and-so. Hey, if anybody comes in here and they look like a trades guy or you know anybody who's a plumber, HVAC guy, window guy, I don't care, keep me in mind. I'd love to give you a card and pass it along for me. If you didn't do that, you're not always recruiting. You're not. You're a what do they call it? You're a viewer. You're just the person from the bleachers who watches the game. And you can't watch the game, everybody. You have to get in there and you have to play the game. You got to play the game. Okay, how can we assess a potential employee proficiency? We've tried tests, but unfortunately it rears its ugly head once on the project. Yeah, so you're talking about like DISC or Wonderlic. Tell me if that's what you're talking about. Favorite question? Yeah, I hired, so some of you had heard this before, but tell me this. How many of you love when you're eating dinner and the phone rings? Now it's a little different, but you pick it up and it's a telemarketer. Type in if you love it or hate it. And if you don't use the word hate, just put yuck in there or something, okay? Do you love it? Okay, so a bunch of you are like, no, I don't like it. Yeah, so I love it. I love it. I love talking to people on the phone. I picked up the phone. It was a Dish Network or window guy. He's like, oh, I am from Dish Network. And I'm like, oh, I've been waiting for you to call me. He's like, okay. And he goes into his whole thing and he's great. And I say, what's your conversion rate? I ask him, tell me your conversion rate. And he tells me his conversion. I said, that's really good. I said, how do they train you over there? And he starts telling me everything. And then I said, where do you live? He says, New Jersey. I said, really? I said, are you looking for an opportunity? He says, I'm always looking for an opportunity. I hired him. See, there is, when you think about recruiting, I've hired the people from Houlihan's, Applebee's. These guys are world-class trained. But you have to be, you're either sitting in the bleachers, everyone, or you're watching from lines. Now, I'm going to tell you about Wonderlic and DISC and these things. I think there's a huge place for them. I had Wonderlic. I had a guy, Jan, come and visit me 14 years ago. Czechoslovakian guy or Slovak. I couldn't even understand what he said. Anybody ever have a guy like that? I'm like, such broken English. I'm like, what did you say? I said, he took the test, the profile kicked him out. He's not a fit. He didn't even know how to read the test. Like, he didn't know that there was a language barrier. So I said to him, I said, why should I hire you? And he said, I do good job. I said, oh, okay. I said, what happens when you tell a customer all this value and everything? You tell all this value and everything, and they say, no, I don't want to do that. He says, I say, why not? And I said, all right, I'm sold. Come aboard with me. 14 years he's with me, everybody. He is a guy that statistically sold over 700,000, not a sales guy, a super tech, plumbing, HVAC, electrical, complete kitchen remodel. We're talking a master craftsman. He just came to visit me the other day. I'm still so proud of him. I love this guy. He's done so much stuff for me. But the question is, profiles can knock him out. Here's the best way to know somebody has the skill set. If you're interviewing, let's use a plumber. You guys all know a plumber. And tell me if this is good value and I should go a little longer, everybody. If it's good value and I'm going to go a little longer, then I'll go just a little bit longer, about 5-10 minutes max. And if it's not value, tell me and we'll bounce. Tell the plumber you're interviewing, I can do this and that. Tell him, go change the fill valve in the toilet in the bathroom. Go change it and watch him. Pull that toilet out and reset it. We had people do the physical work. We had people do the physical work, and that's how we could tell. Let me see who else we have here. Question like, can you give me an example of what is in your hiring? Let me give you the greatest example of a hiring ad. Hire, somebody mute somebody out here and team track it down so we don't hear somebody's an Italian and he's sending a death threat or something. We don't want to hear that type of stuff. I never, this is like tradespeople. Like we don't know what will come out of our mouth, right? So I just want to be careful. That's why I want to dial it in fast and not hear somebody's call. So if you kind of think about this, the best way to get someone's skill set, watch them do the skill set. Have a panel board, have a toilet bowl, have a old furnace, say rip the blower out, put it back in. You could tell, all of you know in any industry you're in, you watch someone for 10 minutes and you could see that right there. In the ad, the copy has to be very strategic, written with copy that says, can you see yourself working at a company? And I'm giving you off my mind some stuff from some of my ads. Can you see yourself working at a company that you never want to go home and can't wait to wake up in the morning? Can you see yourself working at a company where every year you're going to advance and move up in the company to the point you're the person teaching everybody how to be the best? Can you see yourself, and are you the type of employee that could go to a customer's home and even if they're mad, within 10 or 15 minutes, have them loving you so much, they start baking an apple pie for you? Now that is strategic copy that is magnetic. I want to share something with you. It might seem a little left field, but I'm going to read it. And I worked with my copywriter, which you can't work with because he's a master and he has about 20 years of work. But after 20 years, you can interview him, okay, to possibly work for you. And so I had him write an ad. I'll share it real quick. It's not a recruiting ad, but I think you're going to get my point because this is a point to think home on before we leave. I said, my son has a motorcycle. Any of your son buy a motorcycle without you knowing? Yeah, but that's coming from the tattoo guy who bought a motorcycle when he was young. So I said, I need to write an ad for this motorcycle to make it. So, hey, this is the ad we came up with. Check this out. Hey, Easy Rider, stop wishing you owned a motorcycle. Get this bike, open her up on the highway, and head to the shore to soak up the summer. You deserve the experience of a motorcycle. Here's how to get that experience right now. Are you looking to spice up your summer? There's still plenty of beach days left. Are you craving the cool summer air rushing across your body while cruising around town? Have you dreamed about opening up that throttle on the highway to clear your mind after a hard day work? How about a weekend drive to the Jersey Shore to cruise along the ocean or bay? What about opening her up on the highway and watching heads turn as you pass another boring sedan filled with gawking girls, right? So when you look at this, you're saying to yourself, Vicky's like, show me the motorcycle. Like, I might want to ride a motorcycle. Or one of you, right, Dwayne's like, man, I want to go on my bike today now. So if you guys write copy that talks to the avatar, okay, it will attract them to pay attention so you can have a quick conversation with them, okay? Now, I see some of you are asking some more questions. I'm going to look at the bottom here. Average job ad is ready by applicant for 10 to 30 seconds. Use industry job titles, making the first paragraph all about why they should fit for you and work. And yeah, rats, now I want a motorcycle. I know you do. I know you do. So there is strategicness to writing copy, to talk to the avatar, to magnetize them to you. Then you interview them, make sure they're a culture fit. Then you make sure you join, have them wanting to join the movement. Go out there, tell everybody the movement. Real quick, my team and everybody, give me your last biggest insight. Tell me if this was super helpful for you. That just makes me more into a monster to deliver more for you today. And Caroline, post in there for any last person, people who did not take advantage of the, we're only doing it for this, guys. I can't open it up to the world. Take advantage of the free strategy session with a master advisor. Master advisors that, if you heard, the caliber of Mike Disney or Denise or Larry, did over $50 million of business. This is not no normal, ordinary people. People like Caroline who have worked with our team, the greatest in the planet. Make sure you take a copy, write that down, ceowarrior.com/success. We will lead you in whatever we can to serve you, to change the game for everybody. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you, all of you warriors, all of you vets, everybody. Keep cranking in the industry. Stay loyal to the industry. It is amazing. There is tons and tons and tons and tons of money to be made with freedom. If I could serve you anyway, let me know. Otherwise, do me a favor. Go out on Facebook. Tell everybody this was an amazing experience. Love you guys. Boom. We're out.